Welcome to my kitchen. This is gonna be funny, and I again forgot to plug in my mic every time. Oh well, hopefully you can hear me okay. So today we're gonna do something completely different. Today I'm gonna introduce you to my favorite low-carb, Passover-friendly, even though that's already over, gluten-free cake, which I make a lot because it's so easy. For the recipe, you can go to my blog. This might be a little tricky to navigate, but it's on my blog. If you put in low-carb recipes, you'll find it. And I'll probably put the ingredients in the task description here. But there is a little bit of prep. It's a very, very easy recipe to make. And I can only hope that it's going to work out for me to show you how to do this. Because, you know, the stuff is live and I've never tried it before, so we'll have to see. Oh no, I did do my favorite Norwegian fish recipe once before, but yeah, so let's see. I also want to show you my apron that was made for me by it's really cute with a crossover in the back, made for me by Leah Little, who is the buyer at Fireworks Gallery and a good friend. Thanks, Leah. I love my apron. So what we're gonna do is I have my oven is preheating. I have a cake pan ready. And the other thing I did, so this is where it gets tricky because I'm gonna have to like somehow get you down here now. So 1 second. Because, gotta turn this around. There you go. That's my hand. And we're gonna go zoom in here a little bit. Yeah. There you go. So this cake is very easy to make, but you do need to prep these oranges. And this orange, oh, I see. This orange and its sister has boiled for 2 hours in water. Just you fill it up with water. I made a little reel about it. And so it's very, very soft now. And that orange boiled for 2 hours. And I'm going, oh, I see the light's only down here. I'm going to cut it open carefully without hurting myself. And I'm going to check and see if there are any pits inside, because the pits won't be any good. I'll just pop those out. And I used organic oranges because I don't want, the pesticides. And then the other thing I'm going to check is if it has a little button, but there isn't. I'm just going to pop that in there. And I'm going to do the same with this one. This also doesn't have a button. Let's see if it has any pits inside. Isn't this so juicy? So you can see that the whole rind is softened by the boiling process. There are no pits. So I'm just going to pop those in there with my hands. And what I'm going to do first is pulse that. Hopefully I have the lid nearby. I do. And I'm just going to puree that to make... I can't believe I'm doing this here. But that's what we're doing. I actually like a little bit of orange bits still in it, orange rind bits still in it, so I won't parade too much. And now I'm going to add eggs. These are my favorite eggs, the Fill Your Boots Farm, and there are, I'm going to turn my big light on. Hang on 1 second. The Fill Your Boots eggs are available, and I'm very fussy about my eggs because I find that they really, really show you what flavor is like. And they are available at the warehouse market here in Halifax on Isleville. So now we need a ton of eggs. And I always crack my eggs first in a cup or in a glass or something. So we need 6 eggs. You see how nice and yellow those yolks are, and they're just super flavorful. I love them. It's true that 6 eggs is quite a lot, but I eat this in this low-carb, not so high protein. I really have lots of fiber and lots of veggies in my diet, but I don't mind eating this many eggs because I balance it out with lots of veggies, and I don't eat the whole cake in one day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. All right. There you go. This cake also uses almond flour that we're going to get to in a minute. And if you do not want to use almond flour, it's super delicious also with hazelnut flour. And I'm just going to give this a little pulse here. Oh, well, the pulse is over here. This is why I wish I had a second camera or a helper or something. So yes, you can use hazelnut flour. If you don't want to use nuts at all, I have been baking quite a bit with sunflower seed butter, which I believe is probably also going to be more environmentally friendly, because we all know that almonds are not great for the environment in terms of how they are grown. But this is what we're doing here. And now we're going to add almond flour. And I did not bother to weigh this out beforehand. I'm a little laissez-faire about my baking, which doesn't always turn out. But we put 2 cups of flour in. And if you only have nuts, almonds or hazelnuts or something else, you can also make it with walnuts, then just put the nuts in your blender first, but add some sugar, because if you put the nuts in there without sugar, you're going to end up, you're likely to end up with almond butter or nut butter instead of the flour, because it can get to butter stage pretty quick. Now, you can make this as a orange cake or as an orange chocolate cake. If you want it to be chocolatey, add half a cup of cocoa powder, unsweetened cocoa powder. I don't know how that works out, that you can do either or. Don't ask me. And then you add, the recipe calls for 1 cup of sweetener. Personally, if I made this just for me, I would use an erythritol and monk fruit sweetener. But that's, my husband prefers the coconut sugar, which is a super low glycemic. And I'm just going to use 2/3 of a cup, because we're really kind of quite desensitized to sugar. So I'm going to use 2/3, even a little bit less, because I think that's going to suffice. I see my daughter, my chef daughter, is watching, and she likes her things a little bit more sweet. So hopefully she won't mind. And now we're going to, my oven is to temperature. We're going to put just a pinch of salt in there. And a teaspoon of baking powder. I use this non-GMO, but you know, whatever you have. This one actually contains potato starch, which I'm not super keen on, but anyways, you can make your own if you like. All right, we have oranges, we have eggs, we have nut flour, we have cocoa, we have sugar or sweetener, we have salt, and we have baking powder. Now, I'm going to attempt to just mix this. Oh, it looks really beautiful from the side right now. I wonder if I could show you. Hang on. Isn't that pretty? Kind of the layers. Yeah. I'm having a hard time with this thing, so excuse me. Oh, now it's moving. It does that sometimes. So now we're just going to pulse this, and then it goes literally just like that in the oven. We're just going to mix this up enough to, oh, you do want to put a lid on it. The very first time I used this Vitamix, I made a mushroom soup, and it was on my kitchen ceiling because I was not careful. So we don't want to mix this too much because it's got the leavening in it, the baking powder. The rest of it I'm going to just mix like this. Now, I did not think through how I'm going to show you how I'm going to put this in there. Here's what we'll do. You can see my instant pot. It's a newly acquired for my birthday last month. Love the Instant Pot, but I'm not comfortable enough to show you any recipes with that one. This particular spring form is super duper non-stick, and I do not need parchment paper, but if you don't trust yours quite, then by all means use parchment paper. And you may have seen in the cover photo that my red spatula has quite a bit of nicks out of it. It's because I use it in here all the time with this blade in there. Yeah, that's a thing. All right, well, that's it, my friends. It's as easy as that. I'm going to stick that in the oven. Not saying I'm not licking my fingers. Okay, that's gonna go in the oven. Can I show you? Well, we'll go over here. I'll stick that in my oven. Oh, you can see I have a tripod. It's because I only have so many ones. I'll put that in there. And that's it. And now I'm gonna say, oh, that's my cabinet. Whew. Wow, it's hard to do these things on my own, honestly. But I hope you had fun with that. I love food. I really love food, and I like eating in a way that I don't have to worry too much. I'm not gluten intolerant or anything. Almond flour or nut flours have less carbs, and I just like that as a postmenopausal woman. Well, my friends, that's it. Thanks for visiting me in my kitchen, and I'll see you next week. I'm sorry I can't wait till this, by the way, bakes for an hour and 10 minutes, but check it after an hour. And